Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our next episode. This is Aryeh Eisenberg from Edu-Together, and we're really happy to have as our special guest today, Tim Powers, the head of school at Pinkerton Academy. Tim, thank you so much for being with us today. It's really great to have you.
Thank you, Ari. It's great to be with you and to have this conversation.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Pinkerton Academy. First of all, I think the most important question, where is Pinkerton Academy? And also tell us about the school. What makes Pinkerton Academy such a special place?
Sure. Pinkerton Academy is located in Derry, New Hampshire. We're an independent 9 to 12 high school, and we have contracts with 6, soon to be 7 towns to educate students that live within those towns because those towns don't have a public high school. So
Wow.
in many ways, we're the kind, I think, look at it as we're the best of both worlds. We're a private school. We accept private students, but we also accept public school students, and we get all kinds of students, all walks of life. We have about right around 3,000 students that attend our high school.
Well, that's a nice sized school.
It is. It is. It's big, but we also work to make it feel small very individualized in the approach that we have with working with our students and our families. So it's a good mix. We offer a lot of things. So we have everything from AP, honors, college prep courses to career and technical education. So we have students that go to students that go to the Ivy Leagues, and we have students that go right into the workforce. And we value
Wow.
both students the same and really work with them to find their path and what it is that they want to do in the next step of their lives.
That's such a unique learning environment for the students. One of the things that really impressed me, I went to your school's website when we first met, and the first picture on the website was a picture of it looked like a dance practice. And I said, wow, for that to be prominently displayed on a school's website really just shows the diversity and the types of programs that you offer to be able to offer courses like that.
Yeah, it's great. We have over 300 different types of courses that run from everything from dance to your traditional math, science core classes. And even within those, we have some very unique courses that go into like forensics or like
Amazing.
Mythbusters and, how do we tie the math into that? So it's really a lot of different things. We tell the students and their families, if you can't find a class or a club that you like, you're either not trying or come up with an idea and come have a conversation with us because we'll find a way to add it.
That's so amazing that you give the students the opportunity to do that, even despite the fact that you offer so much already. Walk us through, Tim, if you don't mind. What does the average day look like for a student at Pinkerton Academy? First of all, what time do you start school and finish school, but also what goes on during the day?
Yeah. So we start school early. We're in the process of looking at our start time and seeing if we can go a little bit later. But our classes start at 7:15 in the morning.
Oh my.
Yeah, which is early. But we're done at 1:58, so we're done early as well.
Okay.
So we are, as I said, we're looking at that and seeing if we can do maybe a little bit of a later start time because we know that that's better for students and that. So
Now that I know that, and next time my students complain that we're making them start at 8:30, I'm gonna tell them now.
yeah.
That's really amazing in all seriousness that you are able to have such an early start. I think a lot of students really are at their prime during those early hours. So I'm sure you see that academically as well.
Yes, yeah, or 7:15 is rough. It's a little early, but come by the time they get to their end of their first period or second class, that like they're starting to hit their stride and go from there. So, we're on alternate block schedules, so they
Hmm.
take 4 classes each day. So over a span of 2 days, they get 8 periods of classes that they can take, and we also have a flex period that's built in after the first block each day. So that's where we can really make the big school feel small. So
Right.
every faculty member, myself included, has a flex group. So we have anywhere between 10 to 12 students that are with us for their entire time. So this next year,
That's,
my students will be juniors, so they've been with me since their freshman year. So we really get
oh,
to
wow.
yeah, we get to work with them, get to know them, help them along their journey, stay on top of them for their grades, things along those
That's,
lines,
it's,
and
it's
that.
really special to be able to build that continuous relationship with them.
It is, and it's really neat to see them grow and how they are as freshmen to coming into their junior year. Like what are their changes, and their focus goes from the here and the now to okay, like I gotta figure out what am I gonna do in a year.
Right. It's that that rise to adulthood that we get to kind of walk them through and guide them towards. So it's a special time.
It is. It is.
So with all of the different courses going on and all of the different options and the you said 8 periods per day that the students are taking, when do those extracurricular or those arts classes happen? Are they part of the school schedule, or do most students stay after 2 p.m.? What does that look like?
So it's a mix of both. So we have like all of our arts and our dance. We have those classes that happen during the day. So the students can take those classes, they take them for credit, and there's various levels within each of those programs. But then we do have different clubs that are tied to, the arts, obviously athletics and other things like that that occur, vast majority of them after school. So students will stay after school to participate in those areas as well. So there is a mix, but there's, the students really interested in dance, like they can take dance every year as a class,
Wow.
and that experience during the school day, or they can take it for a year, or they don't have to take it at all, and they can participate in the dance club, so they can still be involved in that program without taking a slot of one of the classes that they want to take.
That's really amazing that there are so many different options that a student can choose from.
Yes.
That really it's a special thing, especially with the arts. Like so many schools have cut back on the arts that which is unfortunate to students in today's educational reality. But it's so refreshing to hear Pinkerton's approach and really all the options that a student is able to choose from.
Right. And so often you hear about whether it's athletics or something like that. But we value arts in the same way. And we're very fortunate. Our athletic teams do very well. We're very accomplished in our
Amazing.
athletics, but we also are in our arts, and we're fortunate we have a 900-seat state-of-the-art theater
Wow.
that allows our students to perform on. So not only do they perform on it, but we also bring in international acts, performing acts from musicians to dance, to poets that will come in and they'll perform for our community, but we also are able to tie that into the classroom. So when an artist comes to do a show, we also bring them into the class so the students get that experience and they get to engage the performer in the classroom setting and learn there, and then go and see them perform in their professional setting.
That is such a unique experience. Amazing to hear. So I'm curious. I want to go back for a second to, you mentioned the diverseness of the student population at Pinkerton, which I think is also such a unique and special element. When students come into the school in the ninth grade, how do you make sure, like what kind of prep or orientation do you give the students to make sure that everybody's going to be harmonious and everything's going to go the way obviously that you want it to go?
Right. So we do a lot with the transition because our students, the ones that come from our ascending towns, right now they're coming from 7 different middle schools.
Right. Wow.
So there's a lot of variety there. So we engage them early throughout their 8th grade, even then when they're in 7th grade. 8th grade, when we bring them in for a night with them and their parents, they get tours.
Oh, that's so nice.
The first day of class starts, they've been on campus for 5 or 6 tours if they've been to everything.
Okay.
Just the other day, we had our freshman field day. So the freshmen come in. They come in for about 2.5 hours. But they get their Chromebook, they get their student ID, they get a tour, they get to meet other students, and they get a little an ice cream treat or things like that. But on a day like that, we do it as a pure alpha split. So we're not doing it by town or by who your friends are or anything like that. It's purely an alpha split, so they're completely blended. And they really get the mix right off the bat. And we really are very mindful in that and making sure that we mix students from the get-go, because we don't want them, just necessarily staying. Like they're going to have their friends that they have had from elementary school and continue. But we hope that they also foster friendships and relationships with students that are outside of the school community that they've been in. So we're really mindful of making sure that we're looking at those connections and those interactions, because we think that those are very meaningful and help with the growing process and the learning process, and help them further on in their lives and careers when they have to go out and and meet other people and make connections and
Uh,
things like that.
Absolutely. They say that those are the skills that don't necessarily get taught in a classroom, but are still part of the school experience and the educational goals that we have for our students. So
Exactly.
it sounds like you guys are doing a great job there.
Thank you.
You mentioned the Chromebooks that you give the students when they come in. So I take it every student has their own device. You guys are a one-to-one school?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, we're one-to-one. We before the pandemic, we were kind of one-to-one, but we kept everything in the classroom. So every
Okay.
classroom had enough devices for all of our students. But then, obviously, when the pandemic hit, we needed to ensure that all of our students had access, and we really worked hard to try to make it as equitable as possible. One of the things was we made sure everyone had a device, and coming out of it, it was just easy, and it made a lot of sense that we just continued that every student gets
Okay.
their own device, they have it, and when they graduate, we let them keep it. They get to keep it and take it with them. So for some, that's the device that they use when they go off to a 2 or 4 year college.
That's
For
great.
others, they're fortunate and they can pick up something else. But we want to make sure that they have something when they leave.
So having those devices in their classes, are the teachers using them as regular educational learning tools? Are they more for note-taking and organization? Like what's the school's approach to computers in the classroom? Because every school does it a little bit differently.
Yeah. So it's a tool. Our approach to it is it is one of the tools that we have to use to help educate our students. And everything is so digitally based now,
Sure.
and our students are digitally natives. They're not growing up. I didn't get introduced to computers until it was the end of junior high and high school when we first got one, and it was.
For me, I remember you must be a little bit younger than I am because I remember getting my first learning what email was when I was in college, and it was this big everybody would crowd around the one computer with email,
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear your point.
Yeah, so it's definitely changed in their approach and what they know. So we want to make sure that they know how to properly use it. So it definitely is a tool, and there's a time and a place for it. There's also a time and a place for pencil and paper,
Sure.
and taking notes and going through things like whether it's on that or a mini dry erase board at the desk and that. So we're very fortunate that our faculty is good and they understand the importance of the different tools. And integrating them in different ways and exposing students because we all have different styles in which we teach and we learn, and our
Sure.
students are the same way. So we want to make sure that we're showing them that in a variety of ways.
No, it's definitely, I think the way you said it, that the computer is a tool, I think that's an amazing approach. I've spent most of my career working as an educational technology specialist, and I think that's exactly the right way to handle it. Sometimes schools are looking at it the opposite and are finding ways to use the technology just because, well, we had, it's the chicken or the egg syndrome, I guess. But
Right.
but like, but I think the way you guys are doing it makes a lot of sense, and probably like you said, as we prepare our students for life after school, it's great that they see the validity and the power that this tool can have if it's used the right way.
Right. Yeah.
So that's amazing. So you mentioned something very important a minute ago. You said you talked about your faculty and how and I imagine to do all of these different types of courses at Pinkerton and with so many different levels of students, you must have an amazing faculty. They must be the all-star group.
Yeah, they do. They are. I'm very fortunate. The faculty and staff that I have here are awesome. They're amazing, second to none. I mean, there's no words can't describe the work that they do on a daily basis for our students and the impact that they have. And I think one of the great parts is that they're not only are they educating our students in that, but they're also looking at different opportunities and different ways to continue to better themselves in the classroom, to continue to look at
Mm.
different opportunities and ways to integrate different aspects, whether there is a technology or a different management style or learning style that they can implement in there. They really do, and they're great about sharing it. So it's not
Oh, that's
where,
nice.
oh yeah, like I did this and I figured it out, so I'm going to hold on to it, and I don't want to let anyone else know because someone else may do it, or maybe they do it better, or then it spreads. It's very much of like, hey, I did this and it worked for me. Here's what I did, and they share it amongst their colleagues across not only their discipline but across campus in all areas.
That's great. How many faculty members do you have at the school?
So we have a little over 500 employees, of which about a little over 300 are what we could call our faculty. So between class
Wow.
teachers and counselors and specialists in that.
That's a nice sized group. So that's amazing. Do you guys give your teachers like regular professional development, or is it more like as needed basis? How do you approach that?
So both. So we have a professional learning plan that we follow, and um, we have early release days. We have professional learning days that we have stuff that are scheduled. But we take a similar approach that we do with the classroom with students and
Hmm.
giving choice as they go through different things. We also give our teachers choice when it comes to some of that professional learning and making sure that we create different pathways that they can go down. And we really hone in on when we look at our evaluation process and making sure that it's tied to the professional learning, and then we get the feedback and try to really listen to our teachers and like what is it that they need, like what are the areas that they're looking for information on, or what areas that they're looking to get better at, or just want to know about, and then
Sure.
find resources to do that. And we're fortunate with our size that we have so many experts that
Y-
are here on
I was going to
campus.
say with 500 staff members, chances are you have that expert already on your campus.
Exactly. So we really try to highlight that and show it, which I think is great because then it showcases the talent that we have here. So it's not bringing someone in from the outside that's a one hit. They
Right.
come and share and then they're gone. It's they're with someone here, they're here, they share, and then there's still a resource for the rest of the year while we're all here. People can go in and they can see them in the classroom. They can ask questions and things like that and bounce other things off of it there. So we're very lucky from that regard. And then in other times in other areas, we'll bring people in from the outside, or we'll connect them with things that are on the outside, and
Hmm.
to get them to become the expert in that and bring it back and share with us all.
That's really amazing to hear. It sounds like the program at Pinkerton Academy is just a very unique and special learning program, and it sounds like you're doing a lot of amazing things for your students and for the community. I'm curious though, what would you say with everything that is going amazingly well? What would you say is your greatest challenge, especially going into the new school year in September?
I mean, I think one of the challenges is always like making sure that we're meeting the needs of the students and in their learning and what it is, and trying to get them to that next gap, to that next level. They come in and there's definitely different learning gaps between students. Whether it's because of the town that they came from, the school that they came from, or just the after effects of the pandemic and
Hmm.
where they are. So part of it's just making sure that we're very mindful of refocusing ourselves every year, not necessarily comparing, oh, well, last year or 5 years ago, they were at this level. It's really like, okay, this is the level that they're at. We want to get them to that next level. So what are the gaps, and how do we make sure that we can help them get there and in their learning and in their journey, and setting them up for that success after they leave
Sure.
us.
So that's obviously always on our minds, how we're getting them ready for what happens next. And I think any high school faculty member or principal will share those same goals. But it sounds like you guys have really figured out how to get them there, which is amazing to hear. Do you guys have on your staff guidance counselors and academic support people? Because it sounds like with so many different types of courses that you're offering, it could be a challenge to make sure everybody's getting the support they need. But how do you make sure that happens?
Yes, yeah, we do. We're very fortunate. We have a wonderful school counseling department that works really hard at meeting all the students and working with them on an individual basis to ensure that they're meeting the graduation requirements, but also that they're looking at that fifth year, where they're going to go. And then even more and more so, there's whether it's mental health or other things that are going on with students, is making sure that they get the supports that they need here, but also connecting them with other resources within our community. So we have that. We have academic coaches. We have um, a discipline like math centers, English center, like things along those lines, that students are able to get the extra help. So there's a lot of supports that are there for academics, also for behavioral, between school psychologists,
Hmm.
school social workers, behavioral help as well. So that way students are that they're going through things. It's challenging. I wouldn't want to be a teenager right now with all the pressures that they have going on and the things that they're
I'll
dealing
agree with
with.
you there.
So it really is like they come with a lot of stuff that they have going on in their lives. So sometimes when you're sitting in class, what's going on in class isn't the most important thing because
Right.
they may not know where they're going to sleep that night. So they're worried about that. So it's making sure that when we find out about those situations that we're wrapping around that student and the family and helping them and make the connections that they need to get the support that they need so that they can be the best student that they can in the classroom and learn what they need to learn so that they can take that next step.
That's probably one of the great advantages of being in a more private school setting, the fact that you do build those relationships with the students and that there is that existence of the students when they're not in school and that's something that unfortunately at a lot of larger schools, especially public schools, they just don't have the resources to provide those types of services. So it's special that you guys are able to do that.
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot of work in that, but it's one of those with the people that do it, they love that work and they really
Yeah.
work hard at making those connections. And we're very fortunate that we've been able to cultivate relationships with whether it's a mental health clinics that are within our community or other social workers or that so that there are a lot of resources there, and we're able to connect students and families with them, whether it's the Upper Room is a family resource center within Derry here, or Center for Life Management. That those relationships that we have really benefit our students and our families, and it's a great partnership that we have with them to make sure that
That's
everyone's getting what they need.
That's so nice. So important. I think it's one of those things we all wish we didn't need, but the reality is that we do, and it's
Yeah.
great that you guys are providing it. I'm curious, and I asked this question unfortunately, in today's day and age, you mentioned the diverseness of the student population. We unfortunately are living in a world right now with so much hate going on, so much animosity. How do you, the school community, make sure that everybody is being respectful of everybody's viewpoints and lifestyles and all of those things? Because you read what's going on in the news in the United States right now, and some of it we can't even believe is happening. Things have changed so much, but in a population with so much diversity, I'm wondering, like, if this is something that you guys have to keep an extra special eye on.
We do, and our three core tenets are courtesy, respect, and responsibility. So we always fall back on those as being who we are, what we do, and making sure that we're having those conversations and we're showing it. We're not just talking about it. We're also showing it ourselves in the way that we approach and we handle things. And one part, then it is a nice part, is with the diversity and the different where students come from, what their beliefs and their backgrounds are. It runs the gamut. Everything's covered. So there are people that have all the different thoughts and beliefs in
Uh-huh.
that. So we're in part because of coming from different and the work that we do to blend the students together from day one. I think it really helps that you make that human connection as a person. And then when you have those things where you do have a disagreement or you do see things differently, that we really work on them saying, like, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to
Sure.
have that conversation. And you feel one way, I feel a different way. But at the end of the day, we already have a relationship and we respect each other and we can walk away disagreeing, but it doesn't affect us on an individual basis.
Correct.
We're
Yeah.
still able to get along
And that's what's important, is that respect element, and that's what's so integral to the process.
correct. And our teachers do a great job of cultivating those conversations in the classroom when it's appropriate based on the lessons and what's going on, and really letting students, if it's an argumentative piece like that, they can share their side and they can support it with their reasoning and their research, and then someone else is on the other side and they can have it. And then at the end of the day, really saying, like, it's okay. It's good to have differing views. That's
Sure.
what makes it stronger, is we take a look at it from different points of view and that. But at the end of the day, we're going to be okay. Like, we're all in this together. We're all, treating each other with a courtesy, respect, and responsibility. And that's why we're going to continue to move forward.
Well, so, I really think everything you've told us about Pinkerton Academy and everything you've shared, it seems like just a very special place to learn, a special place to spend those important high school years. What's your what's your main hope for your graduating students? Obviously, they're going to go on to wherever they decide to go, but when they leave Pinkerton Academy, what's your number one hope and prayer for those students?
Sure. So I think there's two things. I think there's one when you look at like what have we prepared them. So we want to make sure that we prepared them for jobs and careers that don't exist and we can't even think about yet, that they have that skills. So there's that academic piece and
Sure.
that part that we want. But I think as important, if not more important, we want them to leave knowing that they're loved, that
Mm.
they have people in their lives that care for them. They have their family, their friends, that their time here at school, that there are people that are in their corner. So no matter what challenges they're going to face as they go forward, that they have things and they have people that they can fall back to when it is a difficult time. And they'll know that they're loved and they're a valued member of our community, and they will always be a valued member of our community.
That's so special. And I think, again, it's one of the advantages of as a school like Pinkerton Academy that there is that family that exists. And 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, they have a place that they can call home and that they can look back on. And that's
Right.
so unique and so special. Tim, for people who want to find out more about Pinkerton Academy, or maybe they're in the area and they want to check it out as a school possibility, what's the best way for people to do that?
So they can definitely, go to our website. We have an admissions page on our website, so that there's, ways to set up tours or, shadow days, or just call and have a conversation like that. We have
Okay.
a director of admissions that can lead them through that. Can contact my office and get in touch with me, and be happy to have a conversation with anyone to show them around and show them what Pinkerton is like, and if it's an opportunity that they're looking to, come and be a student, or if they're looking for employment, come join our team and
All
thank you
right.
for our family, and that we're definitely open to having those conversations.
Amazing. Tim, I want to thank you so much for speaking with us today, and for your time. It really sounds like you're doing an amazing job with Pinkerton Academy. It sounds like just a very special place, center of learning, and really an amazing environment. So one day I hope to get there in person and come visit myself. But until then, really, I want to wish you continued success in the upcoming school year. And I hope that your students and their families and everybody involved know how amazingly lucky they are to be part of such a special school like Pinkerton Academy. So thank you so much for all the work that you do, and thank you for being here today as well.
Thank you, Ari, for having me, and it was a pleasure, and appreciate the kind words, and yeah, I look forward to when you are in the area, go on to campus and showing you around.
Absolutely. I'm going to take you up on that, I promise, one
Awesome.
day. Thank you. And for those people who want to find out more about our podcast, or about the rest of the series, please go to our website, www.edutogether.org. And until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.